Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Thank
Nice
you.
to finally talk to you.
Yeah, in person, not just chats and
Yeah,
comments and
I feel
uh,
like we've become good buddies online, but
yeah, it happens. It happens. Really nice. Um, so I know who you are. Would you like to tell everyone else who you are?
who am I? Well, I am on YouTube. I am Kimberly Lane BSN, RN, and I have just recently started doing some YouTube videos. I had a channel before, but I've just recently started back, and it's because of Carnivore and how it has just inspired me to, you know, tell the world about, the great things of carnivore,
That's
the great things
awesome.
it's done for me, and how it's kind of changed my life to be cliche, you know.
I totally understand. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so how did you come to eating this way?
Well, like just about everybody says, I was keto off and on for years. So that's usually a familiar story for most people, I feel like. Um, and then my prime reason was I saw a study, and I can't even remember the exact detail. I'm embarrassed to admit I cannot remember the exact details of the study, but it was that there was a girl who cured her chronic candida with a carnivore diet. And I think she did it like 30 to 60 days. It wasn't even as long I've as I was planning to do it. I thought I'll give it at least 3 months. And I've had chronic candida for I don't want to say my entire life, but since I was about 19. And, it's not just the female stuff. It's not like people think. Um, I would actually get thrush. I would have just a constant cough, which was very annoying. Um, Rashes, like I would have a rash, like a really itchy rash here and all down on my neck. Um, just so many different little symptoms. And I'm like, this is gut bacteria that's out of
Hmm.
whack.
Hmm.
And I had seen a functional medicine doctor, and she confirmed that for me. They do every test in the world, including on your stool. Lovely. But, being a nurse, like none of this bothers me. I'll talk about whatever. So, yeah, I'm putting all this out on the internet, and yeah, probably should be embarrassed, but I'm not. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to see if, like this girl, I could cure my chronic candida also.
That's
And so
awesome.
far it's looking pretty good. Um, Now I did have one setback one day where I decided it was a good idea to eat some blackberries. That was not a good idea. I that day had symptoms just, I mean, come right back.
Oh,
So, and
wow.
that was probably about 20-ish days in. So I haven't strayed since then. I've been very strict because it is for that specific reason.
Sure. And so,
So,
so how long have you been doing it? And then how long were you doing it before you saw like your candida clear up?
so, my candida, it kind of waxes and wanes. It'll be there and then it won't be there. And I just have to also disclose that I have a bit of an immune deficiency.
Hmm.
Um, it's not like I have HIV or anything. It's just two parts of my immune system that are kind of like the first responders,
Hmm.
are low. So I don't respond immediately like I should.
Okay.
However, my follow-up responders, without getting into too much stuff, they are good. So I almost never get sick. I just have two issues. I get respiratory stuff easy, and then I get like candida
Hmm.
easy. So, but I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, first, when did you start eating this way?
Okay, so let's see. It was May 5th, I think.
Oh, wow.
So how many days is that now?
It's like a month, almost 2 months. It's almost 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
that sounds about right. I think it was May 5th.
Yeah, July 4th will be 2 months.
Yeah.
4th of July.
Yeah. And I kind of wanted to do it before my vacation because I'm going on vacation this week.
Oh,
And I
okay.
wanted to do it to kind of like not only try and see if I could, rid myself of this horrible scourge that's been upon my life since I was
Mhm.
a teenager, but also so I could try to lose a little bit of weight before vacation.
Nice, nice.
So
And I'm sure you have. I think I've seen some videos
yeah,
where
I
you said you've
have.
lost some
I've
weight. Oh, I saw
I've
this one this
actually
morning.
lost 18 pounds now. Some of my
Nice.
videos are a little bit delayed because, I have to edit and I'm not great at that. I'm kind of like a splice and cram together editor. So,
Yep,
and I
I
get
know that.
behind.
Okay, I understand. But
Hey,
18
whatever
pounds.
works, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Yeah, I saw your video this morning where you said you've gone from obese to overweight.
Yes. Yay.
Yay, that's
I know
awesome.
it's like a weird thing to brag about on the internet, but yeah, I've gone from technically obese to technically overweight. So, I
So,
mean, I don't put a lot of, faith in their scales from the government, but
right.
yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't,
according to them.
yeah, according to some, but say, hey, that's a win. I can't wait till it says that for me.
It won't be long.
It won't be long. I know. Um, okay, cool. So, so the second part of my other question was, when did you start noticing like the symptoms of your candida going away?
Okay, so I mean, pretty much right away. The way that I have always been able to control, like half control the symptoms, is to just watch what I eat.
Hmm.
Because if I eat sugar, I'm gonna have symptoms like that. I mean, for sure next day, sometimes that same day. But yeah, for sure next day. And so I had gotten pretty good at like keeping it at bay and then just like having an off day and then going back and taking diflucan. I had a
Mm.
prescription for diflucan that it wasn't a running prescription, but it was a really big prescription that I would just kind of take when I felt like I needed it, and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't needed one since like probably 2 weeks in after I
Awesome.
did the little blackberry thing,
Yeah.
or was that 3 weeks in? That might have been close to 3 weeks. But when I did the little blackberry thing, and yeah, since then I haven't had any symptoms at all.
Oh, that's
So,
great. That's
knock on
awesome.
wood, knock
Yeah.
on wood, because I mean, yeah, I I didn't really expect it to work as good as it seems like it has,
Sure.
but it's helped so many other things that I almost forgot about the candida, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you've experienced?
Oh my gosh. The biggest thing has been when I get up in the morning, I don't hurt all over anymore. I had joint pain. I had autoimmune type symptoms, but I've never been able to get a diagnosis of any specific autoimmune disease.
Hmm.
It's just like, okay, this, and this, you know, and I'm putting it together and coming up with four, and they're like, nope, sorry, you're negative. All your tests are negative. You're good. Go home. No, something's going on.
Right.
I'm not supposed to feel like this. Chronic fatigue, I mean, I've had horrible fatigue for years. And I would go to my doctor and she would say, "Oh, you've got four kids. That's just where you're at in life." And that's a lie, y'all. That is a lie. It's You're not supposed to feel like garbage just because you have children. And, if I make it through on the other side of this and have any more success at all with it, I want to help other people to realize that, as a nurse, I feel like I can, really help them to, I mean, just if nothing else, as kind of a coach to guide them through the path that I've come through.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm tired of seeing diabetics with, getting their legs chopped off and literally daily. I mean, it's very difficult when you know that there is a there's something that works. I'm not going to
Mhm.
say cure, I'm not putting
Mhm.
out any medical claims. I'm not trying to be anybody's nurse, but there's something that works. There's something that helps, and people need
Sure.
to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious, like, as a nurse, does this diet, this way of eating, I hate calling it a diet. Does
Yeah, me too.
does this lifestyle go against what you learned in biology
Oh,
or whatever you
yeah.
need to learn as a nurse?
Yeah, absolutely. It does. And it wasn't so much that I learned it like in biology or anything. I even took biochemistry. And
Okay.
actually, biochemistry, and I just took that a few years ago, about 4 years
Mm.
ago. Biochemistry is what helped me realize just how keto works, you know? And just looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why don't more people realize this?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it's pretty black and white to me. It
Yeah.
it was exciting. I really liked biochemistry for that reason.
Nice.
But
And
yeah, in nursing school, we learned, all the standard American crap, and not much of it, to be honest with you. Not
Oh,
it,
okay.
just very limited. What is a carbohydrate? What is fat? And
Yeah.
then the recommendations you should give to your patients whenever if they have kidney disease, you need to make sure that they don't eat too much protein. You know,
Okay.
CHF, don't let them have a bunch of water. Limit their salt. I mean, just stuff that we know now is not necessarily true. Like I said, I'm not making any medical claims. I'm just,
Yeah.
do your own research, as they say.
Sure. What is CHF?
Congestive heart failure.
Oh,
So yeah, so those
oh,
patients,
okay.
they have their heart is not pumping as effectively as it should.
Sure.
So you don't want to overload them with fluid because
Okay.
they can't handle it, and basically everything will back up into their lungs, and they'll get flash
Okay.
pulmonary edema, and
Hmm.
they'll just be basically drowning in fluid, literally.
Okay. So I'm not going to say who, but I have a family member with that condition. That's why I was asking, and I forgot what the abbreviation
Oh,
was.
okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I know there was time we were going to the emergency room often, and
Yeah.
that person has had some operations and it's apparently a lot better now. I don't know. Do you put a stint in? Do you put a stint in for that?
Not for CHF.
Oh, okay.
You like if you have a heart blockage. So, um, if
Oh,
you
I'm
have a
sorry.
blockage on the,
Yeah.
it's kind of complicated, but
Yeah.
if you had a blockage on any of the vessels that supply blood to your heart, you can put a
Yeah.
stent in those, or you can put a stent anywhere in any vessel, really.
Yeah.
But the most common would be in the heart.
Okay.
The vessels that surround the heart and provide blood flow to it.
Okay. I don't know if she got
Did
a
I say
stint, but
oxygen to it? I might have. Sometimes I
I
misspeak.
oh, I do that like regularly and I'm like, "Oh, how do I edit this out of a live?"
I mean, I will say the craziest things sometimes. And in my mind, the messed up thing is in my mind, it came out right. But then I'll hear it and I'm like, what? Did I really say that?
Yeah. Another
So,
another point of similarity between us.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was curious how you would, now that you have all this information as a nurse, are you allowed to like go over any of this in a hospital with anybody, or that's why you're just
Um,
doing your channel?
Not really.
Okay.
I would be really pushing the limit if I did.
Okay.
That's my livelihood.
Sure.
And
Sure.
while I went into nursing to help people, I
Mm-hmm.
have to play by the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And their rules are basically set by Medicare and insurance companies and the just whole medical establishment that says, if you have CHF, this is what we want you to do. Or if you have
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, this is what we want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot of things that I can do as far as this goes in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could I say, oh, I follow this YouTuber I really like. His name's Dr. Ken Berry. You should check him out. I might be able to get away with that, but this is my livelihood and I can't, I mean, that's why I want to help people here
Sure.
because, I'm limited, very limited in that
Yeah.
environment.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
And I hope that changes. I really feel like, if I ever did have to defend anything, I think that I could come up with the studies just from
Mhm.
Dr. Berry alone
Mhm.
to be able to defend myself. But I mean, you have to tell them what they have set up as the protocol and um, everything for each condition, and
Mhm.
you're just so limited as a nurse and as a
Sure.
doctor,
Mhm.
in today's health system.
Sure.
So
It's it's kind of sad because it's okay.
no,
It,
this little moth is flying around. It's attracted to my light.
okay, I was wondering what it was. It's no problem. Um, so what about your husband and your kids? How are they? Are they following your footsteps or what's what?
So, no, not really, not yet. So my husband he's a very skinny thing and he barely eats anyway. He's just totally opposite from me.
Hmm.
Whereas I would always have all the cravings and I feel like I would just have like binging almost,
Hmm.
on sweets and stuff. He couldn't care less if he ever ate another dessert. He just would get so hungry he'd finally come and eat.
Hmm.
He's just not really big on food anyway. So he's fairly healthy anyway, but he said lately because of me, he's been trying to eat a little bit more low carb and he's felt a little bit better just
Oh, nice.
overall.
Nice.
So that's and then my kids, like my youngest, he's 10, he'll say things that's so cute. He'll say, um, Mom, I think I'm going to try carnivore like you. And
Oh.
I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And then the other day I came down and he's talking to his little friend on this video game. And he said, um, I was showing him my muscles because I'm like, I feel like my muscles are getting bigger. Like I'm making a muscle. And he told his friend, he said, hey, my mom's doing carnivore and you should see her. She's ripped.
That's
I'm like, well,
adorable.
I don't know about ripped, but it was pretty cute.
That's awesome. You touched upon cravings. How are cravings now? How are your cravings?
I don't really have very many cravings. I mean, occasionally, you know,
Hmm.
occasionally it's funny because it's been like really specific stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I can smell it. Do you ever have these cravings where you like almost smell something? You'll be like, wait, what was that? What was that, Brian? What do you want me to eat? But
I think
it's
before. I
usually
think
a remnant of
before.
something sweet.
Sure.
but
Sure. For
but yeah, I don't have
me,
a whole lot.
I've been not doing. I heard you, by the way. Not a whole lot of cravings. But as
Yeah.
soon as I got rid of erythritol and stevia, my cravings stopped.
Oh,
Like,
that's good. See, I
yeah.
have not done that. I still do a little bit of artificial sweetener here and there. Just,
Okay.
I don't know. It's like, that's my crutch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get away from it. I know this,
Hmm.
but it's just not that time for me yet. So,
And I think that's okay. I think like we're quitting everything. You gotta. It's
yeah,
okay. A little bit of a gradient, because if you know that
exactly.
eventually you're gonna get rid of it, and I feel better not taking it. I mean, I'm happy not to
Oh,
feel
that's
like,
good.
oh, I want XYZ sweet thing because I feel like a sweet thing now. I don't want those sweet things.
Yeah. Well, it can actually, I've been told that they think that it can affect your gut, uh, you know,
Hmm.
microbiome. So really, I need to get away from it, just
Sure.
to make sure that I have the healthiest. I give my gut the best chance that there is to fight off the candida and any other bad bacteria.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I had another question I wanted to ask. So oh, okay, yeah, it just came back to me. So I noticed on a video you mentioned you didn't have to take Adderall anymore. Do you
So
want to
that was
talk
three.
about
No,
that?
it's not anymore. It's just
Oh,
it
okay.
was 3 days when I was doing the
Okay.
sardine fast.
Yeah.
Those omega-3s, I'm telling you, they like it's a brain boost.
Hmm.
I mean, I felt just clear. I worked 2 of those 3 days, so I think that really helped me on my sardine fast,
Yeah.
because I don't think I would have been able to do it if I had just been sitting around the house and
Okay.
bored and, just but since I'm at the charge desk of a level 1 trauma, you know, hospital.
Yeah.
So we have 70 to 100 surgeries a day coming through, and I have to talk to every single one and direct them through and assign them, and it's nonstop. So that focus kept me from probably straying off the sardines. And then I just went and ate my sardines for lunch, and then came home that night and ate, and then
Mhm.
kind of went to bed. But yeah, I'm like, what was the question?
I was curious.
I get so far into it.
It's okay. It's
Oh, about the
okay.
Adderall. See, I
Yeah.
have ADHD. I've only taken 1 Adderall today. So I didn't take them those 3 days. I was trying to remember. I don't think I took it the first day, but I know for sure I didn't take it the second 2. I don't
Hmm.
think I took it the first day though. But so I think that was 3 days of me not taking it, and I felt no symptoms of any, withdrawal or, I mean, it's a stimulant,
Hmm.
so you're pretty dependent on it. But it just gave me a lot of brain power. Those omega-3s just really, those sardines, I'm keeping them for sure, just
Sure.
not every day and not
No.
just sardines.
Yeah,
I do like
absolutely.
them though.
Absolutely. So, do you plan on getting off of those types of medications, or what's your
Yes.
plan?
My
Okay.
goal is to get off of all medications,
Okay.
because quite frankly, I don't trust the people who make the medications. I mean,
Hmm.
I know that sounds awful to say as a nurse. Let's say this, I don't trust a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I know there are a lot of good medications, um, but there are also a lot that I wouldn't take at all.
Okay.
And Adderall is one I kind of took out of desperation because I just couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate. I was so fatigued all the time. I was hoping that that would kind of give me a little boost, and
Hmm.
it didn't really. I mean, I can take it and go to sleep. It
Oh.
doesn't. It's almost like it's just nothing at all.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I want to get off that. I want to get off. Well, I have gotten off of several things already. Um, One being Nexium. I was on 40 milligrams of Nexium twice a day, which is, they start you out at 20 once a day.
Hmm.
And I kind of bumped myself up. Nurses are really bad about that.
Hmm.
And I bumped myself up to where I was taking 40 once a day. And then I
Okay.
went to 40 twice a day. So I quit taking
Mm-hmm.
that altogether, had to wean that down. That's
Hmm.
gone. I pretty much quit taking my Claritin unless I need it here and there.
Hmm.
But the Adderall is kind of like every other day or every 2 days right now. And I'm
Okay.
hoping that on vacation I can just completely get rid of it. So we'll see.
That would be great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know about those. There's so many negative side effects. So many
Oh
negative side
yeah. Oh
effects.
yeah. And I've had like horrible dry mouth and
Hmm.
dry eyes, and I think that it's an autoimmune symptom, but it also could just be the Adderall. I mean,
Hmm.
it's very drying. That's one of the potential side effects.
Oh,
It has
wow.
a lot of things that it can cause that are not good.
Yeah. Well, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to
Thank
get
you.
all this off this stuff, and I hope that this way of eating will help to do that for you.
Thank you.
Or
I hope it will
continue.
too.
Yeah. Silly question. Is that a cat in the background?
It's a cat head, yes. It's my kid bought it at Walmart one year,
Oh,
and we
okay.
put it, there's a vacuum cleaner over there, so we just put the cat head on it, and
Oh, that's really funny.
that's its home. So
That's awesome.
we also have, let me see here if I can go up.
Yeah.
We've
Oh,
got
awesome.
Baby Yoda and some Star Wars lunch boxes, and got a monkey hanging on the side of the fridge.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, we just I have 4 boys, so
Yeah,
we got a lot going on here.
I'm sure. I've only got two, one boy, one girl, 5 and
Oh, how old
7.
are yours? 5 and
Oh,
7?
yeah, 5 and 7, and that's already a lot. Or 6. He'll be 7 in a month at the end of August. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Well,
4.
Yeah, and 4 boys.
And 4 boys.
One of them's coming down now.
Oh,
He
nice.
doesn't know that I'm on a interview.
Oh, okay.
He's
Well,
looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
yeah, exactly. Curious then, I mean, as a nurse, are you always at work? Like, how does food prep happen in your house? Who does that?
So I work 3 days a week,
Oh,
3
okay.
12s.
Okay. Oh,
So
wow.
I just cook on my days off and then I
Mhm.
throw it in some containers and take it with me.
Oh, there you go. That's
And then if
easy.
I don't feel like making anything, I just take a can of sardines
Nice.
or 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Uh, but like, do you end up, now that you're doing carnivore, do you end up cooking like 2 meals, like 2 separate meals, or how does that work? Like for your
No,
family and for
just
you?
I just usually make extra stuff. Like
Oh,
I might
okay.
make some rice or, just something that's super easy. Or, they'll make stuff too.
Oh, okay.
My 17-year-old loves to cook. I mean, he made some sort of Japanese soup the other day. I can't remember what it was called, but it's, yeah, he's really good. He'll make like these big pizzas and calzones and stuff like that. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, well, that's
And
easier
then
for
my
you.
oldest, like my kids are 10 to 20, yeah, 10 to 20,
Oh,
almost
okay.
21.
Okay.
So, they're not really in the phase where I have to, actually sit them down and make something for them each time. A lot of times they'll
Sure.
just grab something. So,
Well,
or sometimes
that's
their dad will
nice.
make it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I cook, it's all carnivore. If my husband cooks, it's basically carnivore with some other stuff that
Yeah.
the kids will eat.
Yeah, I mean, when I cook, it's basically all carnivore anymore. And I'll
Yeah.
just pick like a couple, 2 or 3 meats, and I'll make them. And then whatever I feel like eating when I get done making it, I'll eat a little bit or a little bit of each, and then,
Hmm.
put it away for the next day and just kind of eat on it for a few days.
Nice. That makes
So,
life simple.
yeah, I like simple.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a fly by the seat of my pants type of person. I don't plan a whole lot.
Okay.
I'm just kind of a go with the flow.
Sure. I understand. Um, when I was more addicted to food before I started this, I would like go in the kitchen and like wander around and see what I could just like eat and
Mhm.
snack on.
Yeah.
Um, Now I will still go in the kitchen and like blankly look in the refrigerator and like, wait, what am I doing here? Do you do that also?
Um, Occasionally, I
Yeah.
usually have a ribeye in there though, and
Oh, okay.
I'll go in there and get that ribeye and just barely warm it up in the air fryer. And I mean, the air fryer has saved my life when it comes to meat. I mean, just about anything. You can just throw it in there and no time at all. It's ready, and
Oh, wow.
I undercook my steak so that I can take them to work and warm them up just a little bit at a time, like
Mhm.
maybe just 30 seconds at a time, so that it just gets it to medium,
Yeah.
which is what I like.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you have to do that in a microwave? Or do you guys have like,
Um,
oh wait, how do you cook
yeah,
it at?
we don't have an air fryer at work. We just
Oh,
have a
okay.
microwave. Well, this one guy at work has an air fryer, but I'm not using it. I don't know. I don't know what his care for his air fryer looks like, but I'm not using
Okay,
it.
I understand. And how,
Are you a I'm not trying to be
oh
the
no, no,
interviewer,
ask
but
whatever you want.
do you stay home?
I do, but I
Are you,
work from home. I've been working from
oh,
home for
okay.
6 years. So,
Oh,
yes, I stay home, but I have a tutor that comes 7 to 2, and she's with the
uh-huh.
kids, and then I'm working. And then my husband, we work in the same business. So,
What, can I ask what you do?
sure, sure. So I do research of houses in Illinois.
Oh, cool.
For various reasons, companies need information, like when they're selling a house or whatever, like a history of the house. So I do histories
Oh,
of
okay.
houses,
Oh,
basically.
cool.
I'm called a title abstractor. And when I say that, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So I
Yeah.
explain it
So
the
you're like,
long way.
research for houses sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting and
Yeah.
totally foreign to me, but
Yeah. And like it has its own stress, but it's, I'm sure, nothing like your job at all.
I mean,
Nothing.
Each job has its own stress in its own
Yeah,
way, you know?
it's true. It's true. Oh, well, that brings me to my next question then. So how do you feel like the level of stress in your position and work has changed in the last like 2 months since,
Um, so I
or how
feel
you feel
like,
about it?
okay, so I feel like a couple of my coworkers have noticed, one in particular has even talked to me about it. And he said that he noticed that he said he didn't couldn't really put it to words, but he just noticed that I was a little bit like, you know, more together. If
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, I
Sure.
mean, I have ADHD, so sometimes I'll be, you know, and he says that he could tell I was a little more focused and a little, you know, less ruffled, which I don't get real ruffled, but I don't know. He says he can tell, so,
Oh, okay.
but the rest of them, I mean, I haven't really talked about it a whole lot. With I've talked about it with maybe 3 or 4 people, and there are people that are with me all the time. So
Yeah.
they didn't even notice my weight loss, I don't think, because they're
Okay.
with me so much that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's going to take them a little bit to notice, I think.
Sure. Yeah. And you're wearing your scrubs, right? And it's kind of like big
Yeah.
and
Oh,
boxy.
yeah. So it's like a, you know, PJs.
Yeah. This is something I ask all women because it's something that greatly changed for me. Have you noticed any changes in your menstrual cycle, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I don't have one because I
Oh,
don't have a uterus.
oh, okay.
I got rid of that thing a few years ago and never looked back. It was the most wonderful day of my life. No, it really was. I had so from a young age I had endometriosis,
Ah,
and then yeah,
hmm.
and so then after I had my fourth child, probably about 5 years after that. So I'd say it was probably maybe about 5 years ago when I had my hysterectomy. And it was
Okay.
because I had like my cycles were just like going on and on. Like I used to have
Hmm.
a 5 day, and most people have 5 to 7, or, you know, 3 to 7, just varies
Hmm.
for different people. But instead of having a 5 day, I was having a five and then like go on 10, you know, it was just abnormal. So I went to the doctor, and he tried to basically he went in and did this what they call a uterine ablation, where they
Hmm.
go in and kind of like laser off the inside of your uterus. So it's
Mm.
basically, you know, just dead. I mean, I hate to say the word dead for it, but
Sure.
it's lasered off to where it's not going to, you know, slough off, and you're not going to have a cycle most likely. If you do,
Oh,
it's going to
okay.
be very small.
Okay.
Well, after he did that, I started having really, really bad pains, you know, in
Mm.
my abdomen.
Hmm.
And so I went back, and I can't even remember what test he sent me for now. I think it was I guess it was a CT. I don't remember, to be honest with you, because it's been several years. Um, but yeah, they determined that I had, this is a complication that can happen. You have bleeding in between the lasered off part and your
Mm.
uterus.
Hmm.
So just pockets of blood just sitting in
Mm.
there, which anytime you have fluid anywhere sitting in your body, that's a greater chance of infection.
Okay.
So he said, well, we need to do a hysterectomy now.
Oh no.
He said it was called adenomyosis,
Hmm.
but I mean, I'm not an expert on that by any means.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's why I had the hysterectomy, and I was just so glad to get out of the pain, like do
Sure.
whatever, you know.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so
Okay.
I don't have that, but I have noticed I was having a few little hot flashes,
Hmm.
but my doctor said my hormones are fine. These are not like um, premenopausal or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I was having a few hot flashes when I would eat really sugary foods, and
Mm.
especially if I was real stressed out at the time. So I don't know what all that was about, but it went away whenever
Oh,
I started, you know, eating a carnivore diet.
nice.
Um, so I'm not like stripping off my clothes in the middle of the night.
That's that's very nice, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not there
it's
yet. I'm
I
not
mean,
to,
I'm not either. I'm not
yeah.
either. It's just like, it was really weird. I thought, is this? No, surely not.
Mhm.
And everybody in my family has, menopause really late. We're
Okay.
just late bloomers.
Mhm.
And so I didn't think I was to that point, but I don't know if it was just stress mixed with, you know, too much sugar. I don't know what it
Sure.
was, but
Who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
Uh,
who knows?
can I ask a different question? So I was never
Yeah.
diagnosed with endometriosis, but I definitely had hell of a time for many, many
I
years.
heard that on one of your other videos I was
Yeah.
watching.
Oh, thank you.
Where you were talking to the I think she's a health coach.
Oh
I
yeah.
followed her too. I can't
Okay.
remember her name.
Her name is Nicole, and she's the former fat
Yes.
girl.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, so only after I did a YouTube video about actually that it totally changed. Something else totally changed when I started carnivore. But I'm curious because I was never diagnosed with it. Did you notice your symptoms change after you had kids? Like, was it easier for you?
Um so during pregnancy it would totally be dormant.
Oh, okay.
Which is normal for endometriosis. It can have
Okay.
periods where it just lies dormant and then it'll come
Mm,
back with a
okay.
vengeance. It's still
Okay.
there. What it
Okay.
is like it's where your lining of your uterus gets in other places outside your uterus.
Right.
So mine was on my intestines,
Okay.
which was very painful. I would
Okay.
have um, just horrible, like it felt like gas pain. It was
Mm-hmm.
just stabbing. And then just really bad pain. Like, I'm like, this is really a lot to go into. But, um, sometimes when you're on your period and you feel like, we used to call it booty pain, just
Mm-hmm.
feels like a sharp, like, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It would cause that kind of pain. And then let's see, if I would drink beer, it would make it so much worse.
Mm,
I guess just where my dogs are trying to bark already.
it's all right.
Um, I
I don't
guess
hear
just
them. I don't hear them.
oh, you didn't? Okay,
No.
good. I guess just where like it made me so inflamed, and I come
Mm-hmm.
to find out later I'm really not good with gluten.
Mm,
So, beer with the hops and everything, that might have been it for me, but everybody's different. But
right.
yeah, so I would have that. And then also when they would open me up, like I've had 4 C-sections
Oh,
and a
wow.
hysterectomy. I've been cut hip to hip 5 times. Okay. So each time they would open me up, they would find like I had what they call adhesions, which is kind of like scarring and it makes organs stick together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like one time my bladder was like on my abdominal wall, way up by my belly button, like just I thought, well,
Crazy.
no wonder I had trouble peeing, because it's not
Mm-hmm.
even in the right place. And
Mm-hmm.
then my bladder was stuck to my intestines, and I mean, just stuff that can really be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but a lot of that came from the endometriosis.
Sure,
I was
sure.
like, oh,
But yeah, no, I had my own. I remember almost fainting once. So many times I was just like lying on the floor, hoping some pain meds would kick in soon enough, locking myself in the office.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't think people really understand. They have no
no.
effing idea.
And some people have such like easy periods.
Yeah,
And then there's us,
yeah.
those of us who from the time we were probably 16 or 17 years old were laying
13,
on the
13,
couch. Oh
13.
my
That's
gosh.
the first time I remember it, but maybe it went away for a little while. But the 13, I remember the first, like, what's going on?
Yeah. And that's some serious pain. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just relentless. Like it just
Mm-hmm.
goes on and on and on. And even if it feels dull,
Mm-hmm.
it just goes on forever. And I mean, there were only certain medications I could even take that would even touch the pain. But
Right.
yeah, I'm
I
glad
mean,
I'm done with all
I'm
that.
glad you're done with that also.
I'm so sorry that you experienced that, but I
Oh
heard that
man.
you said it was getting a little bit better with
No,
your.
okay. So first, after I had kids, it changed a lot, a lot, a
Mhm.
lot, a lot. But then when the 3 weeks into carnivore, I had my first menstrual cycle. So it showed up first a little bit early and I had nothing, zero, nothing, no pain.
Yeah.
So I would still
That's
get
good.
cramps, but it was totally different after having kids. That's why I was wondering if it changed for you after kids. But did you get the leg things, like the thigh pain, vibrating thigh pain down your knees? So I still had that. I still had the butt and the back pain and
like awful, just aching in the top of your legs. I remember that very well. And then I would get a lot of low back pain. And I had, when I went into labor, I had a lot of low back pain as well. With the first one. I didn't labor with the others, but
I never, that's another thing. I never went into labor. Like the first one, they couldn't get me into labor. 41 weeks. Sorry, we're talking. I usually don't talk so much. Sorry, but you got me.
I want you to.
Okay.
It gets me off the hook a little.
So with Jacob, and I wonder if this is connected to the endometriosis, but like I never went into labor. It was very easy for me to get pregnant. Me and my husband, within a month of trying, I was pregnant. And I think that's not
it
like,
was for me too, actually.
Okay. So I
mean, if you have really, really bad endometriosis, which I also got my endometriosis lasered off.
Okay.
Once I had a surgery where they went in laparoscopically, where they take, they make about 3 to 5 little incisions, about this big, and they go in with their little instruments or sometimes even their little robot, and they laser things off. And so they did that once. So that helped out a whole lot. And I didn't have any pain for a long time after that.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, that was years ago. Like that was between probably kids 2 and 3. And,
Oh, wow. So it changed for me after kids, it changed for me, but I never went into labor with either kid. And I wonder if that's correlated to the fact of having.
I mean, I wouldn't think so because, like I was saying, usually during your pregnancy, because the hormones are what make the endometriosis, rear its ugly head basically and act out and cause you all that pain. Usually it's kind of dormant during your pregnancy. So
okay, so that's probably why. And then
I don't think it's.
You don't think that's related, but okay,
no.
That's cool. I was just curious about that.
I mean, just a guess, but
but no, it definitely changed a lot after having kids. But still, I still had pain. I still had various manifestations. Definitely the leg stuff. But
the way that it changed after you had kids, that makes sense because where it kind of lay dormant for a while you were pregnant. Sometimes it doesn't always come back with a vengeance. Like
So that makes sense. But no, back to 3 weeks into carnivore, I didn't even go to carnivore to handle my period or anything that happens. But 3 weeks into it, it showed up and I was like, oh, this is very interesting. How come I'm not in any sort of pain at all? Then the 2 months later, it just showed up and I looked down and I was like, oh, I need to run to the bathroom. Like I should have paid attention to the app on my phone, but I didn't. Like it surprised me. I woke up and I was surprised. The other thing is before, even after having kids, but I don't remember this from before, but after having kids, I remember having insomnia before my menstrual cycle. Like I couldn't sleep the night before. I guess it's all related to the hormones and everything.
Yeah,
but
I would say so.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in eating lots of butter now and zero carbs and zero seed oils because if that helped me. I'm trying to find some girls that haven't had kids who maybe want to try it out and see if it reduces their symptoms.
Yeah, for sure. The seed oils are just, I mean, I had no idea how bad they were, and how many symptoms they caused in me. That's the majority of what I, aside from the sugar, I can really tell, especially of all things, sunflower seed oil.
Oh, wow.
They put that in everything. It's in all kinds of dressings. It's in lots of stuff. And I don't deal well with that at all. I mean, never mind vegetable oil. I stay far away from that. Haven't had that in forever that I'm aware of, but
right. I mean, you got to be careful.
I can't hardly go out to eat anymore because it's just, I don't trust them. And I don't even think their stuff tastes as good as mine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I understand. I mean, I'm lucky where I live. There's lots of grills, like places that'll grill meat. And it's like I always ask, there's no seed oils, right? You're just grilling it with fire. Yep. Salt. Okay. So
Yeah.
I do eat steaks out. But yeah, my food is usually better. And my husband came up with pork belly. If you take it, go to your butcher and you get pork belly and you grind it up 2 times, you can have like these little pork belly nuggets, and it takes like 5 minutes to make.
Oh, have you done a video about it?
I will do
Yeah,
a
you
video
need
about
to.
it.
You need to.
I have 30 seconds of a video, but it doesn't really show anything except him putting the meat into a frying pan.
Yeah,
But I will. It's so
that would be
good.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
But
always wanting to see like how people use different, different things like that. Um, I went to the butcher the other day. I don't want to say which one because he said he would get in trouble, so I'm not going to call him out. But anyway, so went to the butcher the other day and I said, do y'all by any chance have any like extra like fat remnants that I could buy or have or whatever? And he's like, well, I think we give them to the soap company that buys them from us. And I said, oh, okay. And he said, but hold on, I'll see if I can go get you just a little bit. And I said, okay. I want you to know he brought out this huge, I mean, it was probably like at least 5 to 10 pounds of fat.
oh
And I
wow.
was just like, thank you. I said, now how am I going to get this out the door without them knowing? I don't want to get you in trouble. He said, just tell them, just tell them I gave it to you. I said, okay.
Oh
And so I
wow.
have frozen it because I didn't know what to do with it other than just like add a little bit, to each of my meals. But
Sure.
I guess people are rendering it and
Yeah,
making maybe beef tallow.
I
I
think
don't
so.
know. I don't know what they're doing, but
I think Kelly Hogan I saw, I don't know if it was, I think it was beef tallow. I think she just, or like the fat, put some salt on it and put it in an air fryer.
ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds really
You
good.
can probably try it and let me make a video about it and I'll watch it and we can compare
Yeah,
notes.
I need to. I need to. I made a little video the day I got it. I don't know if I've put that. I don't think I've put that in anything yet.
Okay.
I have so much content that I'm
Yeah,
planning to do on vacation, just
great.
sitting around in my free time, but who knows if how much I'll actually get done.
Sure, I
But
understand.
yeah,
Are
I've
you
got
going
20.
anywhere?
Yeah, I'm going to Florida to Destin. We go there about once a year.
Okay,
Last year we went to Panama City and we were kind of like, we want to go back to Destin. So,
nice. Well, you
yeah,
can
we
come to
have.
Columbia one day too if you want.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. I would love that.
They've got good steak. Um, so what's your food plan on vacation?
So what we do every year is I'll go and get like, we stay in a condo. So I'll
Mhm.
go as soon as we get there, maybe the next day I'll go to like Sam's Club or, Costco, but I think it's usually Sam's Club down there. And just get a bunch of stuff. And I just get a bunch of stuff my boys like, and then I'll get myself a bunch of meat. And my husband, he's so supportive. He really, not only has he's super proud of me, but he's noticed the changes and they've been drastic, and he's really wanting me to keep this up. So he said, babe, do you want to bring some steaks? We can put them in the cooler, because I've got
Aw.
them frozen out there. I buy packs of ribeye. I'll probably buy 5 packs of ribeye at a time.
Oh,
And
awesome.
he said, we can just throw them in the cooler. And then by the time we get down there, they will probably have thawed out a little bit to be
Mhm.
okay. Cause you're going to thaw them out and eat them anyway. So and we're thinking about taking the air fryer with us too, because
All
at
right.
this point, I don't think I can live without an air fryer. I know that's sacrilegious to some people to put a steak in an air fryer, but
I hear
but
so many people do that, including Michaela Peterson, who's like the Lion
oh
Diet
yes,
woman.
I
So
love her.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
And then we don't have an air fryer, but we're thinking about getting one.
Oh, you've got to get one. I'm getting
Yeah,
ready to get my second one. I was thinking about buying my second one for specifically for this trip,
nice.
because I want one of the like double. I think it's who makes it? Is it Ninja? It has like two big things, like you can put whole chickens in them.
Oh wow.
It's it's called the Ninja something air fryer. I don't know. It's like a double sided, and I think you can do like dual temps. Like
Oh,
You don't have to cook
cool.
everything at the same temperature.
Sure.
But we make wings, and it takes me, if I make wings just in my regular air fryer, which I have a big one, I have like the little like toaster oven looking one.
Hmm.
And if I make those, I can only make about 20 at a time. And for my
Yeah.
whole family, I'll be making wings for hours. I'm just standing there, taking them out, flipping them over, putting them back in. So I want to get more than one.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
So
Um,
what about your kids? What do they like to eat? Or do
um,
they eat any carnivore stuff or?
oh yeah, they eat a lot of steak. They eat a lot of eggs. They eat this pork pellet idea that my husband came up with. If
Yeah.
we have bacon, they'll want to eat bacon. If I have salmon, not very often. I rather buy a steak than salmon because they're both like equally
Yeah.
expensive.
Same. Same. I like salmon, but it's not something that I choose if I go out to eat or something. I don't pick salmon over other things.
Sure.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But my son will eat all of the salmon. But I mean, they do eat like we go out on the weekends, they'll have ice cream or their aunts were here yesterday and they took them out for ice cream. So they do
Yeah.
eat like a lot of meat and a lot of eggs, I think, compared to other kids.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's good.
Yeah.
The more
But
protein you can get in them, the better, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, exactly. And Brianna, she loves to eat the fatty parts of the meat. If I can find, she just wants to eat
That's
the
what
fat.
Jack, my 10-year-old, he loves the fat. He'll
Oh
say, Mom,
man.
can I have some of that steak? Give me a fatty part. He's
Yeah.
already learned that that's where the flavor is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's the best. It's so good. It just like melts in your
Yes, it
mouth.
is.
Um, so no, but I mean they're not on carnivore, but we don't have like cereal in the house. We don't have bread in the house except if
Yeah.
family's over.
Well,
Uh,
that's good.
in Colombia, there's these things called arepas, and they're kind of like tortillas, but a little bit different.
Hmm.
Sometimes, oh, you're from Kentucky? My grandma's cornbread. There's these like tortillas that taste like my grandma's cornbread.
Oh, do
So
they?
yeah, it's called it's like a cornbread, but there's more processed ones
Hmm.
that look like more like a tortilla. So we have that. Usually today they ate some. What's funny about the carbohydrates, we end up wasting. We end up wasting more.
Yeah.
We try to make sure they eat their protein, but we don't really shove the carbohydrates down their throat. If it's on their plate and they don't eat it, we don't force it. And
Well,
I've noticed
that's probably
they're
good.
leaning more and more towards eating like how I am. And my husband, he eats a lot of meat also, but also not a carnivore. So that's fine. At
Yeah.
least at least they're like still at the impressionable age where they might listen to you a little bit
Yeah.
more.
And they're listening and they're learning. I mean,
Yeah.
even the older ones, you know, they kind of make comments, and I'm kind of surprised at times by, they're learning from just from watching and listening, and
Nice.
it's, if nothing else, I mean, I didn't raise them eating how I wish I had known to raise them eating,
Mhm.
and so they're on, just standard American stuff,
Sure.
um, and I'm not gonna just be like, oh, we're not having any more of this because I'm on this now. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do that. But I am trying to teach them to make good choices, and just by watching me, hopefully that
Hmm.
they can learn that, in the future when they get, maybe they might be in their 20s or 30s and they decide that they want to, make a serious change to their diet, or their health, you know, may need to improve. um,
Sure.
then they'll have that base, they'll have
Yeah.
that knowledge.
Great.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really, I don't want to say it's all I can do, because I could just take everything away and make them, I'm not going to do that. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's a cultural thing,
Sure.
it's
Absolutely. Yeah. I understand. I
pretty
mean,
difficult.
yeah, I grew up on McDonald's and Pizza Hut and all
Hmm.
those things. And I think
Yeah.
the only reason I wasn't fat until I had kids, like super overweight, was because I was a heavy smoker.
Oh,
I would prefer to smoke
I
than
used
to
to
eat.
smoke also, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I wasn't a heavy one.
Okay.
You know, I just kind of dabbled in it for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I was a
but
nurse, I'd probably still be smoking.
Yeah, there are, well, there used to be a lot. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, over the years they've kind of dwindled off a little, but
Yeah.
not a whole lot of smokers anymore. But it's funny, the respiratory therapists of all people, they are usually the smokers.
That's really
I
funny.
mean,
That's very funny.
you wouldn't guess,
Yeah.
after everything they see, but there's a lot
Sure.
of them that smoke.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. Well, it's 9 o'clock now. Do you have anything else you want to say about the carnivore diet, or what you would say to people who are like thinking about it, or why they should do it?
Well, I would just say that I mean, I didn't even go over half of my symptoms. I have written them all down and I'll
Hmm.
probably do more videos on them.
Great.
But I would just say that it has gotten rid of just about every symptom of anything that bothered me that I have
Hmm.
ever had. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's
Hmm.
true. And I would tell them, if they have any symptoms of autoimmune disease, or they have especially type 2 diabetes, or, just anything that joint pain,
Hmm.
anything that's really bothering them, try it for, I mean, what's it hurt to try for 30, 60, 90 days and see what
Hmm.
happens. And I guarantee you, if you say, I'm going to do this for 30 days, you will extend it, because at 30 days, you're just getting started. And it's like,
Hmm.
wow. I mean, I understand why people are so, you know, I feel like I'm going around like, have you heard about the good news of Jesus Christ? Have you heard of the carnivore diet?
Hmm.
Like that's really how I feel. I know I'm
Right.
getting on people's nerves sometimes, but you cannot contain this. You can't, like, it's been life changing, and that I'm not saying that lightly.
Hmm.
So I'm
That's
hoping that it
awesome.
continues. And my plan was to eventually, like, to go carnivore for up to 90 days. First I
Hmm.
said 30, and now I'm saying up to 90. And then possibly add back some stuff to be like maybe ketovore
Hmm.
ish. But so far, I mean, I don't see me ending the carnivore part anytime soon. So
Right. That's awesome. All right. So what if people want to reach out to you because you're a nurse? You know what you're talking about. Well, how do they
sometimes
reach
I
you?
do. I don't know. So my YouTube channel is actually, I think it's my name on here. I just
Yeah.
set this up today because I had a totally different account, but it's Kimberly Lane
Hmm.
BSN RN.
Hmm.
And like I said, I'm just kind of getting started. I have like 106 followers so far. So nothing major yet,
Hmm.
but it's the carnivore community is just fabulous, and they have been very supportive. I've made several friends so far, and that's way more than I've ever done on YouTube. And all the years I've been on YouTube, many, many
Hmm.
years, never met a community like this just so supportive. And just um you don't find as many, like, you had the keto police. You don't find as many carnivore police that you did with the keto police, even though we are also keto.
Yeah.
But everybody's just so supportive and nice, and just the personalities I think that carnivore attracts. We're not half, I can't say the word. I don't want to get, I don't want to get you dinged, but we don't do things halfway, put it that way. We're
Right.
kind of
Oh,
like, if we're going to do it, we do it. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, you can find me on YouTube, and that's pretty much where I do my carnivore stuff. I have done TikTok for several years,
Hmm.
and if you looked at my YouTube, you could figure out what my TikTok was, because I have some videos that are, I clearly left the watermark on. Um, but mostly that's just goofy, funny stuff. It's not anything like, I started put some carnivore stuff on there, but I think YouTube's the main crowd for carnivore,
Great.
right now anyway.
Okay, awesome.
So,
Cool. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kimberly,
well,
for
thank
talking to me
you.
tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited to talk to you, and
Oh, yeah, me too.
I'm sure we'll chat more.